Thursday, the 21st day of December 2017. Of course, today is the winter solstice day, and of course already the sun has gone down over an hour ago. And I will admit that I am feeling rather sad. It has nothing to do with, what they call seasonal affective disorder, depression, or things like that. I'm just simply sad that that we have a government that is going out of its way to destroy all persons with disabilities here throughout the United States. And we have people who are online trashing persons with disabilities. I've had a internet troll that trashed me recently. Which is not nice. And I never asked to be born with mild cerebral palsy or Asperger syndrome, which is on the upper end of the autism spectrum. But there are people who consider mild cerebral palsy and Asperger syndrome to be totally bogus disabilities. For some people, that a person with cerebral palsy is just simply a person in a wheelchair, or a person who's on the autism spectrum is somebody who is completely mute, only makes noises, sits in the corner, self-rocks, and just urinates and defecates into his or her own clothing. But that is not true. Both cerebral palsy and autism are spectrum disabilities that range from severe to mild. And with me, my issues are just with my legs, and that for long distances I need to use forearm crutches or my rollator walker to ambulate around so that I do not get too fatigued or too tired. And with respect to my having Asperger's syndrome, that I do experience days where I am extremely cognitively overloaded, and I just simply mentally shut down, not just with sensory issues, but also with issues with dealing with, the social functioning. Of course, was it, as I said, today is the 21st day of December 2017, and in a few days it will be Christmas, but, it really will not really be much of a Christmas for myself. The only thing that I'll be, all I pretty much bought for myself for Christmas, just some more Matchbox, or was it Hot Wheels, toy cars and trucks for my collection. Nothing cheap. Well, nothing expensive, I should say. And of course, a lot of people, I'm just simply saying that there's an awful lot of hatred being promulgated online against persons with physical and developmental disabilities and with mental illnesses, simply because, that the present leadership in the White House in Washington, D.C., was it mocks and treats persons with disabilities like subhuman garbage. Essentially, I'm not going to say who the person is, but everybody knows who he is. But this particular man in the White House in Washington, D.C., has no respect, no empathy, and no respect for persons who struggle and who have to live in the real world. The way it is with it, this particular person in the White House in Washington, D.C., he lives in his narrow fantasy world of power, money, and privilege, while persons like me, to him, do not even exist. Or in his mind, we have no God-given right to physically exist in this world. I just sort of just putting out these thoughts and with it feelings. This evening, a few days before Christmas. Of course, Christmas is supposed to be about honoring and celebrating the birth of the Messiah, Jesus, the Christ, the Anointed One. But Was it the 1% wealthy and powerful have perverted and made a mockery of, is it the of what the holiday is really supposed to be all about. And it's been commercialized and turned into, was it celebration of greed, excess, and total foolishness, which is not how a person like me, who lives in poverty and who lives in the real world, sees this holiday. The whole point is, nobody can take all their worldly goods with them into the next higher plane of non-corporeal existence. That is not possible. It does not work, with respect to all the known physical, natural laws that we understand. Through the laws of physics, chemistry, biology, quantum mechanics, and the whole 9 yards. But, that people totally miss the point of, Christmas is supposed to be about family and friendship, yet for the most part, nobody's going to come to this house. Nobody gives a damn, to spend time with me or to spend time with my younger brother. That the way it is that for decades, my own late mother's side of the family, extended family, pretty much disowned me, disowned my father, disowned my brother, essentially disowned, my late mother, who also had, mild autism, Asperger syndrome, but who also, for decades, had severe, untreated mental illnesses, which the state of New Hampshire, State Department of Mental Health, refused to, render any assistance to my father to get her treatment, to get her to a point where she would be able to function. And for decades, that myself and my younger brother, while our father was at work, and when we were not in school, my brother and I functioned as mental hospital orderlies. The orderlies you see in the worst case chronic back wards of the forgotten back wards of the state hospital in Concord, or places like the Danvers State Hospital in Danvers, Massachusetts, or the Tewksbury State Hospital in Tewksbury, Massachusetts, as examples. If I were to, write a bill to the state of New Hampshire for services not rendered to my mother, I would write the bill up for at least $1 million of lost personal wages to myself and another $1 million of lost wages that my brother should have earned, that being both of us being trained engineers. We did the right thing by giving up our careers to care for a profoundly psychotic and mentally ill parent. And the only thing that people ever did was point the finger, condemn, and damn me and my younger brother and our late father to everlasting hellfire and damnation for doing what, in our eyes, was 100% morally correct and right per what Jesus Christ asked us to do. That I will admit that the way other humans treated us, that has massively bothered me for decades. And people are just simply with it, the attitude was it, have the attitude of when we ever asked for help, the only thing that was ever told to me, to my face, or to my brother's face, or to my late father's face, was go to hell. And just was it, we don't want to hear about, was it, your problems with your psychotic, mentally ill mother, or in my father's case, was it to get his wife, was it whom he loved and whom he completely stayed with till death do us part. Was it he obeyed Jesus Christ and he was damned for it. He was damned by the Methodist Church that is right near the Salem Depot. By many members of it for years. That people wonder why my father never trusted Christian churches. And even though I am a member of a congregational meeting house, that does care, that I still have issues with trusting any other human being because from my point of view, all the message that I've received from all other humans, for the most part, is the words, get out, go away, go to hell, you're not wanted. And with it, this has affected the way how I see the world. I have no trust or faith in other human beings because other human beings are deceitful, false, arrogant, belligerent, prideful, with it. And I could go on and on and on and on. So was it, well anyways, that for what it is worth, Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. As far as all you fundamentalist Christians who say that there's a war on Christmas, there never has been a war on Christmas. All the war on Christmas is just simply totally in your narrow-minded, warped, fanatically diseased minds, not in the real world. Anyway, I am signing off.